This presentation will provide instructions on how to calibrate handheld sprayers for applying pesticides on orchard crops. The sprayer calibration and pesticide rate calculations publication and Excel workbook, as well as the pesticide safety information referenced and provided in this video, is in collaboration with and funded in part by the following agencies, entities, businesses, and grower groups. Opinions and recommendations are those of the authors and do not necessarily reflect the views of their employers, funding agencies, or collaborative partners. Mention of a trademark, proprietary product, or vendor does not constitute a guarantee or warranty of the product by the authors, funders, cooperators, or reviewers of this video, and does not imply its approval to the exclusion of other products or vendors that may also be suitable. Pesticide use is governed by state and federal regulations. Read the pesticide label to be sure that the intended crop site is included on it, and follow all label directions. Many of Hawaii's major crops, including coffee, macadamia nut, avocado, and our tropical fruits, are challenged by pests and diseases. Prior to the application of pesticides, whether it be a biological, organic, or conventional product, spray equipment should be calibrated to ensure the legal and proper application of pesticides for effectiveness in controlling a pest or disease problem. So why should you calibrate your sprayer? Ideally, a pesticide is applied at a concentration that kills the targeted pest in the field and then quickly disappears from the environment. Spray coverage must be accurate to be effective, and the amount of chemical applied needs to be correct and in the recommended dosage. Spraying too much pesticide wastes money by using more product than is needed. Applying too much pesticide and otherwise not following the label is also not legal. Violations can result in fines and jail time by both federal and state authorities, and crop or harvests can be confiscated and destroyed. The reputation of you and your farm or agricultural enterprise could be damaged, so future business can also be lost. Over-applying pesticides can expose you, your family, and your community to potentially toxic chemicals, and also has environmental impacts such as runoff that eventually reaches the ocean or contamination of groundwater. Crop injury and phytotoxicity can also occur. Spraying too little pesticide also wastes money by spending time and product without getting the expected results. The producer will either need to retreat or suffer from lower yields and quality from a damaged crop. An even bigger problem is that over time, misapplication can hasten the process of pests developing resistance to the pesticide or group of pesticides. This list provides examples of when a sprayer should be calibrated and recalibrated. Changes to your farm, the applicator, your equipment, or crop can affect the amount of water sprayed per acre of crop and the amount of pesticide added per gallon of water when mixing, and this can result in over or under applying pesticides. Before starting the steps for calibration, be sure that your handheld sprayer is working properly by cleaning and servicing your sprayer, tank, hose, nozzle, and motor. Nozzles can become clogged or worn and can cause under-application or over-application by restricting or dilating the flow of spray solution. Test and set your sprayer nozzle, pressure, and aperture settings as appropriate for good coverage of the targeted crop and pest, and then begin the steps of calibrating your sprayer. Always calibrate with a known orifice opening and consider marking your throttle lever setting if it helps maintain motor speed. It's important to remember that with backpack mist sprayer systems, the higher you raise the spray tube and nozzle, the slower the solution may discharge until less spray solution is applied. Pressure pump kits can help maintain a consistent spray output rate for good spray coverage, especially when applying pesticides to tall trees. In addition, constant flow valves can also be installed to help maintain sprayer output consistency when using hand pump sprayers. You can test and adjust for good spray coverage by adding such products like Surround WP, a kaolin clay, and surfactants or adjuvants to water. You can also use water-sensitive paper and attach it to the top sides and undersides of leaves, fruits, and branches. Be sure that products like Surround WP and other additives are kept agitated during mixing and application, or settling, clumping, and plugging of sprayer nozzles can occur. And always follow the product label directions when using pesticide products. To locate instructions on sprayer calibration for handheld sprayers for orchard crops, first head to the University of Hawaii's CTAHR Publications website and click on the link to browse CTAHR publications. Then, click on Pesticide Risk Reduction Education. As you scroll down, you'll see various publications including those that integrate the 1/128th method. Locate the publication titled Sprayer Calibration with Handheld Sprayer Systems for Orchard Crops. This publication will provide a step-by-step guide with examples for calibrating handheld sprayers used to apply pesticides to orchard trees. It includes a printable field sheet and examples for calibrating a sprayer and calculating pesticide rates. Now, returning to the publications listing, click on Sprayer Calibration for Orchard Crops and Pesticide Calculations to download the Excel workbook that we will use and demonstrate with. These spreadsheets are geared towards helping make the process simpler with no need for hand calculations. If you prefer to input your data into the Excel spreadsheet later, print out page 8 of the Sprayer Calibration with Handheld Sprayer Systems for Orchard Crops publication. Use this field sheet to write down numbers and notes for each step while you calibrate your sprayer in the field. Locate the Excel file in your downloads and open the workbook. Tabs on the bottom of the workbook will provide you with information on the authors, acknowledgements and disclaimer, and a step-by-step worksheet in which you can insert your field calibration numbers into the green cells to calculate water use per acre or total acreage. There's also a tab for conversions for the number of trees per acre, area and acreage, liquid products, and dry products. Once data is input to the Sprayer Calibration tab, the 4th through 9th tabs assist in calculating pesticide rates per gallon of water or total gallonage. There are tabs for dry products, liquid products, and products with use based on a dilution or percent rate per volume of water. Once you've set your sprayer for good effective coverage, click on the Sprayer Calibration tab at the bottom of the workbook and follow steps 1 through 11 to calibrate your sprayer. For step 1, you will need to determine the total crop acreage you'll be spraying. If you know your acreage, type it into the green cell for step 1. If you need help determining crop acreage, click on the Conversions tab. You can estimate crop acreage by entering the length and width of your field in the green cells to calculate square footage. Then enter the square footage in the green cell to calculate acreage. You can also use a measuring wheel, Google Earth, the USDA's Web Soil Survey, or phone apps to determine or help calculate acreage to be sprayed. If using the Web Soil Survey, click on the green Start button. Then enter your farm address and click View. Use the Zoom In and Zoom Out function to find the orchard you will spray, and then click on the Area of Interest polygon function and outline the orchard. Under AOI Properties, acreage of the selected field will be provided. For step 2, you will need to indicate the total number of trees per acre that you plan to spray. If you aren't sure, again click on the Conversions tab for some help or head out to the field to count your trees. If your tree spacing is listed, you can extract the approximate number of trees per acre and type it into the green cell for step 2. If your tree spacing is not listed, use the total tree calculator to estimate your number of trees per acre. When calculating crop acreage, take into consideration road use areas and unplanted space to avoid preparing more solution than is needed. Step 3. Select and count the number of trees to be sprayed that are typical of the orchard. Mark or flag the trees so you know where to start and stop spraying. This will help you determine water usage for the trees that are sprayed during calibration. A larger number of trees in the spray sample can help to provide you with more accurate estimates. However, estimates should also be compared against your actual results. Selecting trees that are representative of the orchard will help ensure that the correct amount of product is applied to the actual target area. Repeat this step 2 more times, preferably with different trees that are also representative of the field. In our example, 3 replicates of 10 trees were flagged in the field to be sprayed. Step 4. Set the sprayer or tank on a level surface and fill the hopper or tank to 2/3 or 3/4 full with a known amount of water, and enter this number in fluid ounces in the green cell under Rep 1. Use a graduated cylinder or measuring cup or container for volume accuracy. In this example, the sprayer tank was filled part way with 256 fluid ounces or 2 gallons of water. Step 5. With your sprayer nozzle, pressure, and aperture settings set, spray water on the marked or flagged trees to get the best spray coverage of the targeted pest. Your spraying motion and coverage should mimic an actual pesticide spray application. If you run out of water before you are able to completely spray all of the marked trees for Rep 1, redo steps 3, 4, and 5. Step 6. After spraying the flagged trees, turn the engine off and, if necessary, carefully release the pressure valve. Then empty and measure the remaining water in fluid ounces from the hopper or tank. Then, enter the amount of water measured into the green cell for step 6. This number should be in fluid ounces. For this example, 188 fluid ounces of water remained in the tank for Rep 1. For step 7, repeats steps 4 to 6 2 additional times to average the results of 3 spray applications. The amount of water applied to your tagged trees should be fairly uniform if your selection of trees was representative of the orchard and if your spray applications were consistent. Steps 8 through 11 will be automatically calculated for you on the spreadsheet and will give you the amount of water used to spray the marked trees as well as the estimated gallons of water per acre for each repetition. For this example field, it would take this applicator approximately 32.6 gallons of water per acre, or just over 65 gallons of water to spray 2 acres of coffee. When spraying pesticides, record your actual spray results and compare these with your sprayer calibration estimates. If there are discrepancies between how much spray solution was estimated and actually applied, consider redoing your calibration and reviewing the reasons that you may have either run out of spray product before fully spraying the acreage, or if you had a lot of extra pesticide solution when done spraying. The benefit of this Excel sheet is that once a sprayer is calibrated, the spreadsheet takes out most of the work to calculate pesticide rates per acre or based on a dilution rate. Here, we use an example of spraying a powder product like Badge X2 to manage several fungal diseases on coffee, including coffee leaf rust. The applicator clicks on the tab labeled Dry Pounds per Acre and enters the product name, label rate, total acres in crop to be sprayed, total gallons of water needed for total acreage in crop, and spray tank volume in the green cells. Acres of crop to spray and gallons of water used per total acreage transfers over from the sprayer calibration worksheet and can be found here and here. The amount of product per gallon of water and per tank full, as well as total acreage, is automatically calculated in pounds, ounces, and grams for ease of weighing. Before using any type of pesticide, whether organic or conventional, be sure to read and follow all label directions and double check that the product can be used on the intended crop. Also, when measuring pesticides, be sure to use the proper tools. Unless noted by the pesticide label, Scales should be used to weigh out powders, granules, and other dry materials, whereas graduated cylinders, beakers, pipettes, and measuring cups or spoons should be used to measure liquid products. Avoid accidental poisoning. Never put food or drinks into containers or measuring devices used for pesticides, and never leave containers or tools near or around food and drinks. And lastly, pesticide record keeping is necessary for commercial farms to abide by the Federal Worker Protection Standard. A form such as this fulfills Hawaii's WPS record keeping requirements, including additional columns for water use per acre and pesticide rate per acre or dilution ratio, can help with pest management strategies and to reduce confusion of pesticide rates used. If you have questions about restricted use pesticides and other pesticide related issues, head to the Hawaii Department of Agriculture's Pesticide Branch website or contact their office. We appreciate your time to review this presentation to calibrate handheld sprayers used in orchard crops. If you have any questions or require additional information, please locate and contact your nearest Cooperative Extension office for an Extension agent's assistance.